My son said he would not marry unless I brought his mother back. I didn't quite know how to respond when he first said it, because truthfully, I don't know what to do anymore. I was recently diagnosed with lung cancer. The doctors say it's advanced. I don't think I have much time left, and I would love, just once, to hold a grandchild in my arms. But my only son, who is also my only child, has refused to marry unless I bring back the woman I separated from more than 30 years ago. This is not something I say to get attention or sympathy. I've lived a full life. I've seen success, I've seen failure. But at this stage, I only wish for peace in my heart and legacy in my family. So I'm going to tell this story exactly as it happened. Hello, Inside Relationship family. Welcome back once again. And if you're new here, we would love it if you could like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We tell relationship stories that speak to the heart, and today's story is no different. What you're about to hear is a father's reflection, a voice of a man facing the end, and the dilemma he carries in his heart about the only family he has left. Let's get into it. I separated from my wife 11 years into our marriage. We never officially divorced, not because I didn't want to, but because she didn't. She said she didn't want the stigma of divorce, so we lived apart, each going our own way. Our son was just 10 years old at the time, and I insisted he stay with me. I raised him myself. The decision to separate wasn't sudden. It came after years of struggle, years of disrespect, pain, and emotional exhaustion. I was doing well financially. Among my siblings, I was the most comfortable, and I saw it as my responsibility to support not just my immediate family, but also my extended one. I took in some of my nephews and nieces, put them in school, paid their fees, fed them. To me, they were like my children too. That's how I was raised. That's how I believe families should operate. But my wife didn't see it that way. When I traveled for work, I trusted her to manage the home and care for everyone. There was always food in the house. I made sure of that. I stocked the kitchen with everything needed. Then one day, my siblings came to visit me. They said their children, my nephews and nieces, were being mistreated. That they were made to do full-day chores before being given a meal. That they were often starved. I was shocked. I didn't want to believe it. So I asked my son. He was around 6 or 7 at the time. He told me, "Whenever mommy wants to give me food, she comes into her room and gives me plenty so that my cousins won't ask me for any. But I don't like it." I felt cold. All this was happening under my roof, with food I provided, in a home I paid for. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. Instead, she got angry. She said I had turned her into a maid. She accused me of dumping my siblings' children on her. I was confused. I didn't know what to say. I reminded her that she didn't need to work if it was too much. I told her to resign and stay home, just take care of the household. I would pay her 3 times the salary she was making. She agreed. I thought things would improve. They didn't. Even with that new arrangement, she continued to mistreat the children. I tried to make life easier for her. I hired cooks, cleaners, stewards. I even employed a house manager. But none of them lasted. Over 3 years, I hired more than 22 different staff. None stayed more than 2 months. Even the gate man left. They all complained about her behavior. Some left without even collecting their full pay. I remember one incident clearly. One of my nephews came to me crying. He told me he had forgotten to buy kerosene for the stove, and she made him eat raw rice for the night, while others ate a decent meal. This is the kind of cruelty I was dealing with. What made it harder to process was how she treated outsiders. She would give generously to church members, cook for events, donate household food. And so, in the eyes of outsiders, she was an angel, a generous woman of God, a loving wife. But behind closed doors, it was different. She also constantly accused me of cheating, despite the fact that I had no interest in being intimate with anyone. I was emotionally drained. I could not bring myself to be affectionate with her when I was already living in a war zone. People often believed her family, even some of mine. She was very good at playing the victim. I never got a chance to explain myself. Eventually, I sent my nephews and nieces back to their parents. I thought maybe this would reduce the tension, but it didn't help. She turned her frustrations fully on me. I became her emotional punching bag. She would deny me food over small arguments whenever I am at home. I often had to eat outside just to have peace. Then came another Christmas. I asked if the children could come spend the holiday. She packed her bags and left again. Told her family I was choosing my siblings over her and our son. But the truth is, our son had no one. He was often alone. He had no friends because she isolated him. I thought letting him spend time with his cousins would help. Was that so wrong? I wanted him to learn how to live with others, how to share, how to laugh and play. But she didn't want that. So I gave up. I decided not to bring her back. I needed peace in my home. And for a while, I got it. She tried to fight me for our son, claimed she could raise him better, but she couldn't afford it. I removed financial support, not out of wickedness, but out of reality. She needed to understand what it meant to take responsibility. Eventually, her family told her to return the child to me for his education, for his future. I took him back, raised him, did everything I could to give him the best life. Now, don't get me wrong, she had good qualities. She was an excellent cook. My food was always delicious when she made it. Our home was tidy. In public, she always looked put together. She knew how to win people over. Even at events, people knew I wouldn't eat unless she cooked it. But those things were not enough. Not enough to raise a family. Not enough to build peace. After the separation, I didn't remarry. Not because I couldn't, but because I didn't want any woman mistreating my son. I raised him alone. Of course, with the help of some homekeepers and his cousins. Today, he's a grown man with his own career, his own connections. I'm proud of him. He has what it takes to survive in this world. But I know his mother poisons his mind every chance she gets. She still tells people I ruined her life, that I was a terrible husband. She still walks into church and gets praised. And I have learned to live with it. Now I'm standing at a crossroads. My son has told me, "Dad, I won't marry unless you bring back Mom." He says he wants to see reconciliation before starting his own family. He believes that's what love looks like, bringing things full circle, healing wounds. But what he doesn't know is the depth of those wounds. He doesn't understand what I survived. I remember the day she looked me in the eye and said, "You will regret ever crossing me. I will deal with you." Those words never left me. And now I wonder, if I bring her back, will that threat come to life? I don't know what the right decision is. Do I try to fix things for the sake of my son's happiness, or do I protect my peace in these last days of my life? If I bring her back, will it be peace or more pain? I want to see my grandchild. I want to see my son happy, but not at the cost of walking into the same fire I barely escaped. What a sad story. Would you bring her back if you were in his shoes? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel. More chilling stories every week.